So let's name it as well. And let's create a player, and you can already see there's way more options than before. Let's pick from our art gallery. Let's take one of these cars. And I can add some special effects to it. So, for example, let's throw some smoke. And so we can set the type of smoke. We can set where it comes from, just by moving our finger. So have it come from the tailpipe. We can set when it should happen. Is it constant? Is it only happening maybe on collision, so when you're actually driving, maybe it's dust picking up? Or maybe it's only on death, like sparks, or something. So let's make it constant. We can modify the size of the smoke that's coming out. And we can swap the layers too, to make it be on top of the car or behind the car. And we can even modify the controls. So we have some pre-built controls, like right now, you're simply, it moves and by itself, and you just touch to jump. But you can maybe make it so you can tilt while it's in the air to move it. Or maybe it's an air bubble in water, so it should be moving opposite of what you're doing. So we'll just have it to be just running normally with no tilt. You can select from our pre-added sound effects. And in the future we'll probably add an update, so you can actually record your own sound effects.
Yeah.
And you can do stuff like how many lives do we start out with, what's the starting hit points, what's our max hit points. I mean, maybe we're taking power ups that add to our hit points. And how is the gravity? Are we on the moon? Or should be low, normal, high?
Yeah.
And let's add a platform. Let's see if we have something here. Let's take this bridge-looking thing. And we can modify the animation of it. We can have a path and draw the path it's actually following. And the velocity is going on. Do we actually see the path, like in a Mario Brothers type game?
Right.
Let's go back to normal, and let's make the placement so it actually snaps to the bottom of the screen, like a bridge should. And it's a giant size, and we can actually already play this game. We have our car driving along. And we can do things like, say, let's add another bridge. And let's make this one also giant. Let's make it so it shakes. And say, you know what? When it's when we hit it, let's make it fall down, like it's falling. And make the placement so it automatically set it like really far, because it tries to, based on what you pick, it tries to make the game challenging and fun. So hard objects like this one will come at much later time. So let's set it back to be immediately, and snap it to the bottom as well, so we can see it more often. And then as we play, at some point we'll see a shaking bridge. At some point. That's the problem with random. It never showed up when you wanted to show up.
It's fine. I believe you.
Yeah. So at some point we'll be hitting a bridge that shakes, and then it'll fall by itself. And we can do things like add enemies. Like let's use our in-app drawing, and we can draw a quick tree. And again, pardon my terrible art. And just to make it a little bit more realistic, we'll add some apples. And we can modify things, again, also the animation, how it moves, if it rotates or not, the size of it. And we can do things like when we hit it, what happens, what the animation for it dying is, and what the animation for the player dying. Let's make the player explode. And for collision response, it's a tree. Let's make it so we always die. Because you can set it so maybe from above it dies, like in Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Or from the side, what happens. You can even trade hit points. You can have a set amount of hit points to your player, have some hit points to the enemy, and then you're actually trading hit points when you hit it.
Right. Cool.
And let's again look at the placement to make sure it happens immediately. And let's try our luck again to see if our enemy shows up. Oh, here's our falling bridge.
Yay!
That killed me immediately because it fell too quickly. So let's just remove the bridge that's falling so you can see the enemy.
So that works just like when you're trying to kill an app on your home screen. You just hold down and
Exactly, and boom, I hit the tree.
Cool.
And we can add backgrounds. Let's go back again and see if we have anything interesting, like this drawing that I took a picture of.
Mhm.
And
That's
we
just for
can
the camera, yeah.
Yeah, and we can actually make this one already scrolling. And we can add another layer on top of that, like.
So you can get a kind of parallax effect.
Exactly,
Yeah.
we can add parallax scrolling. We'll add our awesome clouds again. And we can have them scrolling at a different rate. And now when we play, we actually have, our
great.
background with our clouds moving at different speed and our apple tree that killed us. And we can do things like, have power-ups. Actually, right now, if you noticed, as I was playing, the score was based on how far I got in the game.
Yeah.
But what happens is, I can actually add like a coin power-up and say, you know what, make this power-up be points. So it gives us 1,000 points.
Right.
And now the game knows, hey, we have this points power-up. Obviously, the user wants it to be a power-up picking game.
Mm-hmm.
So if I play now, I only get points when I pick up the points power-up.
Right.
And it knows to place them at what distance to place them based on how big you actually set the points power-up to
Right.
be. And I can add something like, let's add a magnet. And this one, so when we pick it up, it's going to actually suck the
Coins towards you.
coins towards us.
All right.
Yeah. And what we can do is actually we can go to player animation and say, when I pick up this power-up, how does it modify my player? Make it spin once, make it be a bigger object, a smaller object, or maybe it even actually gets placed on top of our car. And let's just look at the placement again to make sure it happens immediately for this demo. And now if we're lucky, we'll run into a magnet. There we go. And it got placed on my car. And when I hit a tree. But if I got to a points power-up, it would have gotten sucked in. And I can show you, so this is actually the gist of the games. I can also change like what direction it's moving in, all kind of stuff. And I'll show you some example games that people created. I'll show you on the iPhone for background. Also takes about 1 hour to make this, aside from the art. And if I can get far enough, also I have to pick up these candy pieces to get points. And if I get far enough, the platforms will start moving. Some of them will be exploding platforms. They'll get farther apart to make it more difficult to get there.
Is there any way to animate your character?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But that is definitely something that we are working on.
Like 5 frames.
And actually,
like walk cycles.
exactly.
And stuff, yeah.
So actually, we got this game already done in animation. There was a moving platform right here that I got to, and this one is an exploding platform.
Yeah.